Let's get to our segment, Unbelievable, which takes us to the Palouse. All right, I was following this story closely while we were gone. Not that it surprises me per se, but it really feels like something that would happen at UW, not at WSU. And I am, of course, I've married into Cougardom. Cougardom? Cougardom, yes. So Jonathan Cho, and I actually knew he was going out there. He said, I got this great story. I'm heading to Pullman. Basically, a student was assaulted by staff at WSU wearing a Trump hat. I said, no way. I was thinking to myself, that sounds too horrible to be true, or too good to be true, depending on how you look at it. But it was true. Jonathan had the video evidence to prove it, and arrests have been made in this case. So I just want to play you a couple parts of Jonathan's story just to set this up.
After a long day at work, the WSU junior says he got ambushed and jumped by Patrick Mahoney and Gerald Hoff.
Patrick ripped the hat off my head
for wearing this bright red Trump cap.
He said to me, go get it, bitch. So punched me a bunch of times on the back.
Sonny says they unleashed a vicious beatdown, all caught on surveillance cameras right in front of the Coug, a popular campus bar packed with students.
Gerald also kicked me also a bunch of times too. Patrick, he grabbed my chest, I slammed it on the concrete as I was falling.
He tried to defend himself.
So I had to go throw my food at his face.
But Sonny says 2 against 1 was just unfair.
And I was like, what the hell just happened?
And the melee left him with multiple scrapes and bruises.
All because of this, yeah.
Pullman police eventually found the pair nearby within hours of the chaos.
I've seen this guy campus before. Okay. I know he's like right-wing dude.
Mahoney and Hoff pretty much admitted to the allegations.
I grabbed his hat, threw it, and I said, go get it. We did grab him and bring him to the ground.
But tried to downplay the incident.
I didn't hit him. I don't think I did something illegal, right?
It's unwanted touching.
It's unwanted touching. I don't know what that is, right?
In fact, Mahoney tried to victim blame.
He wanted to fight. He got what was coming to him.
The officers didn't buy that story and arrested them on the spot.
You have the right to an attorney if you cannot afford one.
They're now facing 4th-degree misdemeanor assault charges.
Glorious. Love it. I mean, the fact that, cops are there interviewing their surveillance video, they're totally downplaying what they did. And so sanctimonious, too. I've seen this guy, he's a right-wing so-and-so, as if that would justify what you did. It's just wild. So who are these 2 faculty members, Patrick and Gerald? Let's continue with Cho's story.
Mahoney is a WSU graduate student and instructor, teaching a freshman-level political science class.
Oh, gosh.
By all accounts, Mahoney is a notorious far-left activist.
Of course, I'm going to think you are beyond insane.
Who hates conservative values and is a regular at pro-Hamas protests in the city.
Almost 30,000 Gazan civilians have been killed.
Recently, he was part of a group pressuring the Pullman City Council to pass a resolution calling for a ceasefire in Gaza, but that went nowhere.
To support the revolution, support the resolution.
Workers everywhere are rising up.
Sonny says Mahoney has strong ties to the Democratic Socialists of America, progressive pro-labor groups, and is someone who publicly touts his admiration for the Communist Party. Look at the hammer and sickle pin he's wearing in this official school photo.
Mahoney's goal is to turn this country into a communist dictatorship or a communist authoritarian system.
I give him a hit to be don't with this anymore.
This violent incident happened in late February, and the school temporarily suspended Mahoney from classes and teaching duties. But Sonny is speaking up now since he's hearing his attacker could be reinstated and doesn't want that to happen.
He really shouldn't be teaching here, in my opinion, because, if you can't tolerate different opinions, then what's the point?
Over a hat. Dude had a hammer and sickle pin in his official WSU photo, and he's teaching a freshman-level political science class. That's the guy, the communist who's teaching the future minds of America. And we wonder why some of these college kids are leaving college so messed up. So as Jonathan said there, this happened months ago. And the individual who was assaulted is now wanting to come forward and tell his story, because when he talked to Jonathan Cho at the time this was taped, he was of the belief that this one guy was maybe going to get his job back. So I really think this is where public attention and shaming comes in, because we now know that both of the faculty members who were involved in that incident and have been charged by police have now lost their jobs, which is the right outcome. But again, had it gone under the radar without any sort of attention, absolutely wouldn't have been any consequences for them. This is from WSU's VP of Marketing and Communications. After an investigation conducted by the City of Pullman's Police Department and in accordance with WSU policies, Patrick Mahoney's employment has been terminated. The second individual involved was a graduate student serving as a teaching assistant. He was not a Washington State University professor. The person has been relieved, however, of all teaching responsibilities, as he should. If you beat someone up over a hat, good God. The statement went on to say, in compliance with federal privacy laws, no further details regarding the matter will be disclosed. Of course not. WSU remains committed to fostering a safe and supportive learning environment for all students. We take every complaint and concern seriously and will continue to address such matters with the utmost priority. Now, I think that second half is BS. I give a lot of credit to Pullman Police, though. They did an interview with Cho for his story. And if you watch, I had to watch the full body cam interaction with Mahoney. And the officers did a great job, both when they were talking to him on the streets and then after he was in custody, basically telling him, dude, what's wrong with you? Like, you don't have a right to do that. And it was like trying to explain to a 3-year-old. And actually, one of the officers used an analogy of like, you learn this in kindergarten. Don't touch other people. Like, keep your hands to yourself. I mean, he's talking to this guy like he's 5, which he should. And trying to get across to him why what he did was a crime. It was like this guy didn't grasp the fact that you can't just rip a hat off someone's head and assault them in the street because you don't like their politics. Just wild stuff. So I'm glad that the one guy will not be have any teaching responsibilities and that Mahoney's employment has been terminated with WSU. They don't need to be anywhere near the future minds of America. But just wild stuff. I mean, over a hat. It makes me want to wear a Trump hat around. I mean, I'm not like, rah, rah, Donald Trump #1 fan. But now it makes me want to wear a Trump hat around just to trigger people. Just to trigger people. Because it's like, I was thinking about this weekend. That your life must be going so well. You have so few problems in your life. Talk about privilege. You have so few problems in your life that you have the time and energy to lose your mind over someone else who you don't even know, perfect strangers, political beliefs. It's the epitome of, like, you know, I always say, white privilege. You have white privilege if you can spend that much time and energy on stuff like that or protesting at a Tesla store. God, good God, give me a break. So great reporting from Cho. I'm sure that's not the last that we'll hear of that.